Davich Blackface or red-faced, does a racist act from our youth make us a racist for life? Host T. If never dressed in blackface as a prank. If never draped a white sheet over my head to pose as a Ku Klux Klan member. And if never been photographed or video recorded doing anything in my past with such racist, prejudiced or racially insensitive intentions. The same can't be said for Virginia government. Ralph, who at Northam initially admitted to being one of the subjects in the photo. It captured one. I purposely used the word captured because this is exactly what that photo has done regardless who's in it. It captured them. Less than 24 hours after admitting he's in that photo, Northam denied it. Though he also admit, I am not either of the people in that photo, Northam told media with all the confidence of a man who once posed in blackface. It's definitely not. Surely those two people in that photo, whether it's Northam or not, never considered that the photo would be shared with the world 35 years later. Possibly, they weren't running away from the photographer in shame or in shock. In fact, not only are Republicans calling for Northam's resignation, as expected. His fellow Democrats. Since then, Northam has dug in his political heels against critics' calls for his resignation or impeachment, and public protests have continued. Northam's stance: if he resigns under pressure, Northam will likely be labeled a racist for the rest of his life. If he stays in office, should he resign? Should he confess? I ask these delicate questions because we can likely ask ourselves similar questions about our past decisions. How many of us have, like I said, I never did such racist or possibly racist acts in my younger days. But have done so many. I am thankful that cell phone photos, social media sites, and YouTube videos didn't exist in my younger days when I habitually did stupid, embarrassing things under the influence of youth or the guise of entertainment. Fortunately for me, this is one of countless reasons why I'll never run for public office. I wonder if would he lose his position? Would he lose our what if recently appointed U.S. Supreme Court Justice was in the crosshairs of a similar situation from his younger days? Would it have immediately? This situation is in stark contrast to that appears to show Joe Ricketts, the 77-year-old patriarch of the family that owns the Cubs, sharing and endorsing racist jokes and emails. Those emails aren't from Ricketts' youth a half-century ago, which would be impossible anyway. Those shared, but Northam's apology is different, and more thought-provoking. He's apologizing. Northam is on the hot seat now. But all of us should. J. Davich at posttrib.com. If never dressed in blackface as a prank. If never draped a white sheet over my head to pose as a Ku Klux Klan member. And if never been photographed or video recorded doing anything in my past with such racist, prejudiced or racially insensitive intentions. The same can't be said for Virginia.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.